Hello everybody and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Avi and today I will be playing your local real kind thief, Arata Satomi, who has recently finished quite a heist.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, it sure was a heist.
You could say it's record-breaking even.
11 fucking hours, guys. We are never gonna live that down.
Oh, we are not. I'm starting to think maybe the combination of us is the problem.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, with me today, as you have already heard him, is my wonderful and talented friend.
Hi, I'm Fletch, and I'm currently grabbing Avi forcefully by the hand for a handshake, because I legally have to keep that gag in somewhere. It's not tired if most people haven't heard it yet. Um, there's a little bit of thunder in the
Holy shit.
background. That is
Ho-
fine. It sets the mood.
Holy shit.
You good?
Yeah, that was loud.
Yeah, it came through your mic.
Yeah, I saw.
The the fun fact for our dear audience, despite Avi being the one in a thunderstorm right now, I'm the one with the technical issues.
God damn.
Uh,
This sure is some form of irony, I
it
guess.
sure is. I think maybe it's just life paying me back for my horrible, horrible stats.
Yeah. But hey, Fletch, how's Camille doing?
Camille sure has been doing. He's it's probably been a few days, 'cause before then he has been honestly quite a mess considering how change of hearts work. Or is it changes of hearts? I don't know what the plural is. It's fine. Um, but yeah, so he's kind of been um bottling things up for a very, very long time now and has only just started to unpack all of that and deal with it. So he's been sort of an emotional mess. Apologies to Zumi, but you did sign yourself up for that. Knowingly, might I
Only has
add.
him. He did this to himself.
Mhm.
There's another crack of thunder.
It, it's fine.
All
It
right.
sets the mood. It's fine. It's cool. It's chill.
Anyway.
Yeah. So he's mostly been emotional. It's been a few days now, so he is starting to feel a bit better and kind of get a handle on himself a little bit more. So how's Arata doing?
Uh, Arata's kind of doing. Uh, it, that was a pretty long heist, and it was. There sure was a lot. And he's still kind of like trying to figure out some stuff about that. Oh, there's the rain. Anyway. um,
Yeah, 'cause boy, he accepted that request thinking that Camille was a 6-year-old with some issues. And boy, did he learn some things.
oh, he sure did.
He learns many things, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been a lot in that. to process and unpack. It's fine.
um, but yeah, part of the reason why it's probably taken a few days to get to this point specifically is, well, not only did a lot happen, and did he originally think that Camille was actually 6, he did find out a lot about Camille. Some things that I'm pretty certain that a lot of people don't know. Uh, um,
Honestly, for some things he learned, not even Camille knew.
yeah, yeah. But yes, um, Arata sure is, Arata wants to make sure, first of all, that, Camille's had some time to, like, hopefully calm down after everything. But really, he wants to make sure that the kid is alright, and also to talk to Camille about this, because keeping this secret is not a good thing. uh, so it's probably around now that Arata decides to come by the hospital room. And what's Camille doing right about now?
Let's see. Hmm. Should I do a yield roll to see if he's awake?
I was about to roll for Zooey actually.
Go roll for Izumi. I want to see this
Oh,
actually. Oh, that's an 8. He's out.
he is asleep.
To be fair, he's probably extremely drained from what he's been dealing with.
Yeah. We pat this man, boy.
He's trying so very hard and we love him. He just does not have any experience with this actually.
He does not. He isn't cut out for it, but God, is he trying?
Alright, let's see how you're doing, buddy. Alright. That is probably enough for him to. Alright, it's just that. That's probably enough for him to be, like, awake. Let's say. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
he's probably, you know what? Let's say he's reading his brand new book.
Aww.
Because he's taking a bit of a break from the emotions and he's starting to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, that's good. So you're awake. You're probably reading. You're reading your book, and after probably some considerable amount of time, you hear a knock at the door.
And Camille does kind of look up at that and is. There's a bit of a blank before he's just, who is it?
It's Satomi-kun. Can I come in?
Oh, um, sure.
Alright, he's going to come inside, and once he's in, he is going to close the door behind him. And he glances over in Camille's direction, and he says, he has this kind of shaky smile on his face, but he says, hey.
And Camille does kind of tried to return the smile as he's just, hey.
There's probably a moment of,
That awkward silence was in character.
yeah. There's probably a moment of hesitation before he's just like, okay, I'm going to be real. If now's not a good time, I can come back later.
No, it's I'm fine. Um,
You sure about that?
well, I have been better, but I've also been worse, so
Yeah, alright, I'll just take your word for it. Arata kind of moves further into the room and seeing that Azumi is passed out, sits at the side of Camille's bed. And he's also going to set the bag down so that Genie can poke his head out.
Oh.
And
Camille
he's
does look over at Genie and gives a little nod.
you get a nod back.
Nice.
And he Arata Arata sighs and says, "Well, I kind of wanted to check in on you after all that. Um,
And he nods and pauses for he is kind of messing with the kind of just picking at the blankets like um is uh all of that normal or
what he kind of makes a gesture. Emotions
he nods.
or Arata nods. He's just yeah, that's normal. I'm sorry. I it was just you know, you seemed you seemed to be and I well, I think best the best um this fumbling of words is in character, by the way. Um
I hold him so very gentle. Yeah, this is not something that he would be used to, I think.
no, when he changed when they changed Ichika's heart, she passed out for a week, almost two.
As you do.
Yeah. So doing this is completely new to him. But anyway, um he's fumbling and he's just, you were, look, I know it's my whole thing, you know, as a spirit rogue and stuff, but changes of heart aren't something to take lightly. And it wasn't it wasn't because I wanted to change your heart. It was because I wanted to help you. And then he kind of just sighs and runs a hand over his face because, oh god, he doesn't know how to handle this.
Oh, beloved. Um, Camille's kind of just taking it in before giving a slow nod, like, I know it was to help me. Looking back on it, I was really not making good decisions.
Arata kind of looks up at Camille and he says, You kind of weren't, kid. I'll give you that. Um, but I'm glad you're doing better now, at least.
And he nods at that, like, yeah, well, you didn't really see it, but, it was actually even worse, when Shiro, um, asked.
He kind of sighs and shakes his head. He says, "I can, I can imagine that." So you're reading that book I got you?
Yeah, it's, I haven't been able to get through it as quickly as usual, but that just means there's more time to think on it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. And he kind of just sighs. Deflates a little bit, like his shoulders sag, and he says, okay, I have to be honest here, kid. I didn't want to check on you. Yeah, like that's true. But I also I also need to talk to you about some things that happened while I was stealing your heart. Um and he looks incredibly sheepish about this.
And Camille kind of sets the book down over on the nightstand and kind of just squints at you.
Look, okay. I stole your heart, kid. And there were a lot of things that were weighing it down. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're a spirit rogue and you do this kind of thing, you sort of just find things out.
And he's sitting up a little bit more straight, and he's going to do an insight on you. That's what I thought you'd say, you horrible little detective.
Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, Arata's not angry yet or upset. He is incredibly sheepish and oh gosh, what's another good word? He feels bad about the fact that he found out the stuff that he did. Um, but you get the impression that the reason why he is telling you this so soon is because he wants you to know that, because it's not because he wants to hold it over you. He wants to, I guess a proper term to be would be on even footing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no malicious intent.
Yeah, that does make Camille relax a little. And he's just going to sigh, like, hell. If I had to guess, it's probably about uh you probably know about that, huh?
Sorry, something. I just got DM'd something.
You're valid.
Yeah,
Did someone stab you?
yeah.
Oh, I pat you.
Uh, did you ask that? Did Camille ask that if Arata knows?
Um, he didn't say anything specifically incriminating. He just said you probably know about that then, huh?
Arata winces and he says, "There's no easy way to put this. I know about a lot of things."
Now it's Camille's turn to wince a bit, and he mostly just sighs at this point. Can I at least know what and or how.
He kind of sighs and he says, I know that you're not who you say you are. And I know that you care a lot about the barista kid down by the painted lady. Uh I know who he is. I've met him. We're friends. Um and I know what happened that got you stuck like this. Like gestures with his head towards Camille as if to indicate his appearance.
Yeah, Camille definitely winces at the last bit and um kind of goes to hug himself a bit. That is um a lot.
And Arata kind of just looks away and he says, well, like I said, we can talk about this later. We don't have to do this now. Um thing is though, I'm not going to tell anybody. I mean, you already know who I am and what I do, so I shit.
Part of Camille kind of does want to smile just a little bit because, ha, you're swearing now.
I really was a little on the nose the last time we talked. Ugh.
On the
Sorry
nose?
about that too. Did you say something?
Yeah, he was like, it might have been because I couldn't hear the first part too clearly, but he did uh say on the nose questioningly.
Issues related to, you know, identity and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, really, wouldn't in this situation.
I just. I think. He kind of pauses. As like he's trying to think of like the best way to continue here before he kind of looks over. Oh, sorry, there's a fly that keeps trying to buzz around me.
Oh
He
no.
looks over to Jeannie, who kind of just makes a soft cat activation purring noise kind of thing,
Oh.
and steps out of the bag, and he's um you know, the funny thing is you and Jeannie actually have a lot in common too.
Camille blinks at that. Like, we do? I kind of want to see if he'll piece it together, because this is Einquell.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you wanna roll?
Yeah, would that just be straight interwiz?
I guess so. Either way, either one.
Okay, you did not have to, flex, buddy.
What do you get? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I guess he does have an inkling, with the 22.
Yeah.
um,
If I can find my goddamn words. You've noticed, in the last FPS with Arata that there had been, like, this funky, tag on his collar. Genie's collar. Um, and that kind of gave you the impression that there's something more to Genie, right?
mhm.
So Arata says, well, here's the thing. Genie's not exactly your ordinary cat.
Uh, Camille kind of wants to make an awful joke.
Go on.
It's just he wants to basically just go, let me guess, he was originally human.
Oh my god. If you do, I could do a fun response to that.
Alright. Uh, Let me guess. He was originally human?
And Genie halts, kind of freezes, and just lets out a meow as his ears flatten against his head. And Arata winces, and he just goes, not exactly. I mean, Genie's not a cat, but he looks like one because this is the shape he takes, and he can understand people. He can speak common, but only. He can speak common, but you can only understand him in certain situations, and it's not a fun time for him. Let's just leave it at that. Not a lot of people really see beyond the cat thing.
Yeah, and Camille nods at that. Um, he does look a little bit apologetic at the wince. Before he's just, yeah, I understand. It, I mean, in a way, at least. And he is a curious little boy, so he's gonna tilt his head like, what kinds of situations?
And Arata taps his nose and he says, "Are you really gonna joke right now, buddy?" He says, "You have to have been to a specific place in order to be able to understand Genie."
He is pretty obviously mentally filing that away for later.
And in that place, Genie doesn't look like this.
Oh? And he tilts his head.
No, he doesn't look human.
Well, I wasn't gonna ask that. What does he look like?
Like a monster cat. Meow!
uh, Camille snorts.
These two are friends, you can tell.
They are.
The point is, I I might not understand it personally, but if anybody gets it, it's going to be Genie. What it's like to be in a body that doesn't feel like yours.
And he does sober a bit at that for nodding. Well, I am sorry that someone else has to go through that, but how are you gonna word this? I put my face in my hands as Camille debates whether or not he should make a joke about it being a support group. uh, hmm. He's actually not quite sure how to phrase that. Um, Probably because he's still trying to come to terms with a lot of the emotions regarding it himself.
That's understandable. And I think um Genie has decided to sit beside Camille again.
Mm.
Not really playing up the kitty act yet, but he is definitely there.
Camille does uh, reach his hand out questioningly, because he's not sure what is considered rude, so he's just gonna see what Jeannie has to say about things.
Genie puts his paw in your hand. You are now holding hands.
He accepts this. Sometimes you just want to hold hands a little bit. It's fine. Yeah, so he does give a little nod at that.
If you really want to make a scratch under his chin. And that gets like more indignant yowling from Genie.
Camille kind of just smiles like, can I? And he's looking at Jeannie.
Genie does a suspicious squint in Arata's direction, who just kind of grins mischievously. And then like Genie does the like cat thing where he kind of tilts his head up so you can scratch his chin.
And he does.
And it's so funny because despite the look of pure indignance, this cat is definitely purring.
Yeah, Camille's definitely smiling at that. And, Oh, you are a horrible little curious boy, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna outright dig for information just yet, but he is going to, he is smiling, but he does kind of look at you as he's like, so I'm guessing the, specific place that you mentioned is a secret. Uh, Before he turns back to Jeannie, like, it is kind of a shame that we won't really be able to talk, but it is nice to officially meet you.
And he kind of just bonks his head against your arm.
Oh. I am holding Jeannie so very gentle.
Sometimes you're just an emotional support kitty.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Camille definitely does seem to be uh in a bit better spirits than before.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Cause oh boy, there sure is a lot to go
Mm-hmm.
through.
Yeah, he's kind of just vibing for a bit before he uh does let out a little sigh, like, but I'm assuming you probably have questions. I mean, I don't really know how you saw any of that or what exactly it was, but you probably have questions. I can at least assume that much.
he kind of sighs, and he has this look on his face like he's trying to figure out where to begin. And he says, "Is it alright if I call you Camille?"
And he blinks, like, sure. That is the name I have been going by.
You know what I meant. Shakes a Yeta boy at you.
Yeah. And he does. There does seem to be mixed emotions. But he does eventually nod, like, if that's the name you want to use, then I'm fine by it.
Alright.
Especially since the actual name can be a bit,
I get it. I saw the guy who did it. I mean, I didn't see him. I saw that moment.
Okay, that's gonna need a... Okay. Okay. Oh. That sure is a 6 on the whiz save.
Oof.
Though you did kind of bring up the guy who, all but killed him. Without warning. So, Camille kind of just freezes and goes a little pale, as his eyes get more gray. And suddenly he is staring at you with so much intensity. As he's just, you did? What did he,
I
what did he look like? What did you notice?
he was kind of a huge dick.
I mean, identifiable traits, like, did he have any verbal tics? Did he have any unique... What did he look like?
Look. And he kind of makes a gesture like you should probably write this down. As he
Alright, let's see if he can pull it. Okay, yeah. He pulls out his notebook and pen and is very much obviously in full-on detective mode.
and Arata kind of just said looked kind of nasty. Kind of like a rat. He He had long hair. It's kind of grayish, platinum blonde. As I casually try to find the image again.
Here, let me slap that in. 'Cause I should have it if my thingy will load. There you go. Spoiled for bastardry.
Spoiled for bastardry. Kind of dark clothes. His hair was tied back. Cloak, definitely real kind, I think. Had a hat and a crow familiar, and I don't know if this really counts. Just the way he spoke. It was like he kind of sighs and laughs bitterly and says, "He's definitely somebody I probably would consider changing the heart of." Haha. Haha, handsy that. Anyway.
Man.
I don't know if that's anything to go by, but
It's more than I've had for a while, so thank you.
of course.
And he kind of taps his pen against the notebook a few times before he's just like, I know that there's a lot of um, other races that look human or can look human, but do you know what race he was?
Would he have been able to tell?
Um, you would have been able to tell that he was a humanoid-looking race, or a human-looking race at least.
Yeah, and Arata kind of just shrugs and says, based on what I could tell, he seemed human.
And Camille does note that down. Though, actually, you want to roll perception?
Yes, don't mind if I do. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. You notice he is absolutely, um, because it's probably pretty easy to tell because you're tall and he is small and you're both sitting on the bed, so, it's not exactly hard to sneak a peek. Um, you can tell that one, he is writing in Thieves' Cant, actually. I And before you ask, Marzi, no, it is not that version of Thieves' Cant because he thinks that version of Thieves' Cant deserves better than to be used for these notes. Uh, and But of course, you are also a rogue, so that doesn't pose a problem for you.
Haha, yeah.
So you pick out that he has been taking pretty extensive notes on what you gave him, along with various uh, conjectures and theories as he tries to piece things together. You also notice that he specified in his notes that this person seemed or looked human, not that he is one. So there you go. Hands you that, since you have such horrible, horrible little rogue rolls.
It's funny because he's not a detective. Perception is not something he has expertise on. He just keeps rolling high.
Yeah, like Arata only has a +5, but boy, does that +5 go places.
Yeah. And I think because your passive perception is also bullshit. um Arata sees you noting this down, and it has kind of like glanced at your notes, and for like a split second his eyes glance in Azumi's direction before he looks back to Camille.
Yeah, Camille does look up at him, and then back to Izumi, and then back at him.
What?
You were looking at Chiro, and that's. Should I roll to see if he can piece things together again?
Yeah, because my boy really was about to make a deception roll.
uh, I'll have. What's his. Okay, with that amount of laughter, it seems yeah, that's a 10. His minimum to tell if someone is lying is an 18 and his modifier is a 10. So, yeah, he he rolled shit on that. However, his modifier is a 10.
Arata, Arata just says, "What? I'm just making sure he's still asleep." You know for a fact that this is pure bullshit. Um, you also know for a fact that this is Azumi's rival. It would not be that. You also okay. You also probably would have picked up on the fact that there does seem to be some form of trust between Arata and Azumi. It would not be that far of a guess to say that Arata knows what Azumi is.
Mhm. And he kind of just uh snorts in response at first. Like, uh he's he actually does seem to be holding back a little bit of laughter right now.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut
Well,
up!
you'd think for a phantom thief. uh, that was I think you knew how bad that lie was.
Shut up!
So, and he tilts his head. You, know about Shira?
He nods. And then after a moment, he doesn't say anything, but he makes a hand gesture, uh, kind of repeatedly, um, pointing between himself and Azumi as if to say the same.
Mm. And yeah, he nods that like, well, that explains some things. You can tell he's also mentally tacking that onto a pinboard somewhere.
Okay.
Listen, he's a little guy with a lot of thoughts.
I gently hold him.
And he has found a new source of enrichment, as I have informed you.
You can bully this little phantom thief a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he mentally makes note of that and nods. Uh, I think he's allowed to be a little bit stupid for a moment he does glance towards Jeannie questioningly. But then he shakes his head because no, wait, he's pretty sure they're only human shaped, right? No, he doesn't know a lot about them.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Jeannie gives Camille a look. Like, we will be here all day, buddy.
Yeah, Camille gives him a look back like, I don't know what you expect from me.
God. Um, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a joke, Erotic just kind of sighs. I think what he does actually is that okay, I don't know why you're telling you're going to take off your shoes first, probably to be polite, I guess, but he kind of just like shifts a little bit so that he's sitting cross-legged on the bed and facing Camille.
Camille is pretty amused by this and does raise an eyebrow.
And he says, "He did look like a rat bastard, though."
And he kind of nods and uh part of him wants to make that an actual note, the other part of him wants to be taking this seriously.
I think he should write it down as a treat.
He does seem pretty conflicted before he writes down rat bastard. Not in thieves can't. Just straight up rat bastard.
That's his name now. First name rat, last name bastard. Arata looks absolutely delighted that you wrote this down.
Yeah, and he does give you a smile that is a little bit strained, but it is for the most part genuine. Like, well, I have to take note of every bit of information.
Every little bit helps. You'd be surprised how that goes for Phantom Thieves too.
Oh? He's. You've activated his curiosity.
Look, kid. I would not have made it this far as the leader of the Spirit Rogues without all the help that I've gotten. So, stands to reason that the same would apply to detectives. I don't know why he's going off on this already, but he just kind of sighs and he says, and it also applies to information.
That does make sense, I suppose. And he. Oh, we're going into. Okay. He does get a kind of nostalgic look in his eyes as he kind of thinks back to a different time, and as he's just like, I'm not sure how it goes for stealing someone's heart, but with other things there's so much more goes into planning for the heist than the actual heist itself.
Ugh.
I'm guessing you don't like that part too much?
It's it's fun and I love doing it. But holy shit.
I don't know, I always found it the most fun.
And Arata just kind of sighs and shrugs. And he says, sometimes when you're prepping for a heist, you gotta look around and see what you can find, and not not everything not everything is you know going to be useful, or it's just sometimes it's just noise, distraction. Sometimes you can just find things that you were really trying to find, you know?
He nods at that, like, I know. The amount of cases that were solved because someone just happened to say the right unrelated thing at the right time is a surprising amount, actually.
And Arata does laugh at that. I
And
think. Oh,
no, you can go.
I think after a moment, Arata kind of pauses, and he says, I do you remember how you said that you made a promise to someone?
And he drops his smile, and it's obvious this is something that has been kind of eating away at him. Before he nods, like, yeah, I did. I'm guessing you somehow also managed to see the particulars of that.
Arata kind of glances away, but he nods and he says, It's kind of funny. I was so ready to be really mad at this guy. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Leo's Leo's my friend. And I'm sure you can tell by now I care a lot about my friends, and
Well, you did go out of your way to steal the heart and I guess somehow help uh, a kid that you met only once. So, not surprising at all. Though he does kind of give you a bit of. There is something behind the look that he gives you before he glances away. Because, actually, that ticked something familiar.
he's gonna roll his dice, his insight. Okay, you know what I said about rolling high?
Uh, did he get a. Yeah, that's a 24. Um, yeah, as he says what he says, there's a realization halfway through that, huh, this is something that he would have done. And he needed help for trying to, basically what amounted to a savior complex. There is a little mental tick that happens as he thinks possibly maybe you two are a little bit similar in ways that maybe aren't quite the best or healthiest.
I simply wiggle. I wiggle a little thief boy at Camille. What you gonna do about it, buddy?
Yeah, it
Anyway.
really did only hit him halfway through his sentence, like, wait a minute.
And Arata just kind of continues and he says, well, like, I know. I know Leo's isn't the kind of person to really, like, eat a lot. Has he always been like that?
And he kind of uh glances away like, um, we were both not the healthiest children. Uh, Leo, he had the worst of it. He's he's not in any danger of keeling over now. He's gotten a lot better and a lot stronger. And he does. I'm going to uh I'm gonna just give you this because it's kind of obvious. There is a pretty obvious hint of pride in his voice and in his eyes. He cares a lot about his little brother,
Oh.
and he he is currently very, very emotional over Leo. If my own state is anything to indicate.
Oh no,
Uh,
I can tell.
yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so yeah, he's definitely very proud as he says that Leo has gotten a whole lot stronger now.
Um, but Arata just kind of nods at that, and he kind of just so okay. I think so. That's why. All right.
And he's narrowing his eyes at you. That's why what?
He kind of opens his mouth before he closes it, because I'm just gonna give this to you. You could tell that he's trying to figure out how to word this, but there is apparently no good way to word it in his mind. So he just says, you said he's not in danger of keeling over now, but apparently that wasn't the case back then.
And he's going to roll insight. Okay, you didn't have to go like that. But I guess the big brother instincts kicked in because that's a 29.
He just wants to fucking know what happened, yo!
Yeah, I think right now Camille's mostly trying to figure out if what the memory that Arata saw is the same memory that he's thinking of and hoping that it is not.
I mean, he didn't see that particular moment, I don't think. It's been a while
Yeah,
since the game.
you specifically saw the aftermath of that.
Yeah. So you can tell that some of it is like he's trying to interpret what happened, but he knows that it something bad happened and it made you make a promise. And apparently the fact that you said what you did about Leo is helping things line up in his head, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Camille kind of deflates a bit at that. He's just I really only did see the worst things, huh?
Well, it's like I said, we stole your heart, and there was a lot weighing it down.
And he kind of just nods and sighs like I um I never really told anyone this before, but yeah, it wasn't always the case that mm, okay. He's holding on, but boy is because that is a dirty 20, but he is really going through it, my man. And he just we were not really sure how to go about saying any of it. Uh,
You don't have to. I mean, I am just some guy who just walked into your hospital room.
I guess that is true. But, can you you think it's also something I should tell him about? I I know I can't keep myself a secret from him anymore. I know it's just hurting him. But And he's very obviously struggling to find the right words here.
Yeah, I think after like listening to Camille struggle this much, I think Arata takes in a deep breath and he says, I have a little sister, you know. We're we're both adopted. Um, when I moved to Okashima, I never actually got to meet her properly when I moved in with the guy I was staying with because well, it turned out she was in a really bad spot, like mentally speaking. She couldn't leave her own room. She was terrified of strangers, and so her dad didn't really think it would be good to introduce some random kid he picked up to her when I first moved in, but I did eventually find out about her. Well, she kind of found out about me first, but the long and short of it, Camille, is that yeah, the spirit rogues do target corrupt adults, but you're not the first hurting kid that I've helped like this. She's she's doing amazing now. I mean, she's still absolutely terrified of big crowds, but she's going to school now. When a few short years ago, that thought alone would have sent her into a panic attack.
Camille
No,
is nodding
oh,
at this. He's kind of just letting you tell the story.
mm-hmm. As I try to gather my own emotions, give me a
I
sec.
hold you so very gently.
I'd do anything for her, Camille, just to make sure that she knows she has someone with her holding her hand, because we're family. If anything were to happen to me, I would want her to know. Not not just because we're family, but because I know that deep down we need each other. It's...
Camille, sure to just hand me a line.
Oh.
And he's kind of just staring down at his hands. And I'm not going to do it that quiet because my mic would be very bad at picking it up, but it's very, very quiet from him. And he's just... Let's me.
I could not hear you.
Okay, let's try. What if he... What if he hates me?
Arata's gonna reach over and put his hands on Camille's shoulders. If that happens, that happens. And I mean, it's heartbreaking, yeah, but I think at the very least, Leo deserves to know. Look at you, Camille. You miss him.
I think he actually is tearing up a bit. But he doesn't deny it.
I'm going to be real. Camille. He kinda does have a right to be a little bit angry about this, but that doesn't change the fact that you're brothers. That somewhere deep down in here, and he kind of just taps your chest, very reminiscent of the last FPS between these two. He says, somewhere deep in here, you both care about each other. Who knows? He kind of just lets go and leans back. He might just surprise you. After all, you just said that he is a lot stronger now.
Yeah, you boy really did be going through it.
Is this pause in character?
I think a little bit, yeah, because he's very much kind of tearing up at this moment.
I think in that case, Arata just kind kind of lowers his head to try to look at Camille, and he says, "Sorry, did I overdo it?"
He shakes his head. His he's just I was so afraid. I still am, but I don't want him to be hurt or to get wrapped up in all this. I was always the stronger of us two. I was the one who could handle things. I didn't want to put him in danger or to. And he kind of just stops and scrubs at his eyes.
Is it alright if I give you a hug?
He nods.
You're getting pulled in for a hug.
He very much accepts the hug. And yeah, he's crying now. It's very much, again, that Chieflian cry with the big exaggerated tears. And let's see how long it takes you boy to calm down again, because you are still talking to him when he's in a very delicate state, Arata.
Yeah.
It takes him a while.
Oh dear.
Uh,
He ain't going anywhere.
yeah. So he is just basically bawling his eyes out, and it is a good while before he finally kind of calms down with another sniffle and pulls away just a little bit.
And Arata kind of just places a hand on top of Camille's head. Just a gentle, pat.
Aw.
And he says, "Oh God, what do you say?" I think he says, "You might be you might have been strong enough for the both of you a long time ago, Camille, but even the strongest people can't move a mountain by themselves.
nods and takes a very deep breath. And then another as he tries to calm down a little. And he kind of mutters this into you. It's just, I don't want to make things worse again.
And Arata just kind of chuckles and he says, "It's a pretty big mess as is."
There's a watery chuckle in turn. Yeah, but um, last time I really talked to him as myself. I I really didn't think that he hated me. I never got to apologize.
Now's your chance. It's it's not going to be easy, kid. And I'm not going to pretend that it is. That it's going to be easy. But you're trying. That accounts for something.
He nods.
You know, takes a lot of guts to, you know, confront something like this. And yeah, maybe you might have had a little help. And he kind of does a shrug. But he says, "You're doing great right now with talking about this." It's not easy.
I gently tuck away a Camille line.
Oh boy.
Uh, Man, yeah, boy, you really do be going through it. He's already really bad with emotions. But he. It's not really, like, said on purpose or meant to be defiant in some way. It's kind of just more in slip as he bitterly mumbles doesn't feel like it.
It hardly ever does, kid. Some people would have rather taken an easy way out of it, something like this. But you're doing just fine.
What easy way is there?
We're not saying anything. We're not saying that. Arata just sighs and smiles.
Abby? I think you cut
What's
out.
up?
I think you
Oh
cut out.
god. Uh,
I pat
can
you.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Arata just kind of sighs and smiles sadly, and he's just there really isn't a quote unquote easy way out of something like this. It's sometimes for some people they're too scared. But Camille, you are actually considering talking to Leo again. And yeah, that thought might terrify you right now. But would you have done that before now?
And there's actually a bitter little smile. Like, actually, someone getting mad at me exactly for that, and me thinking they were going to go tell Leo. Uh, that's kind of what got me in the state where Joe had to ask for help.
That's what I'm saying. You're already moving forward. Do you see that?
He hesitates, but then nods.
Point is, I do think you should talk to Leo. And He glances in Asumi's direction and then kind of looks back to Camille. He says, "It's like I told you, I am friends with Leo too, so you know, if you need that extra bit of support, you just let me know, okay?"
And he does give you a little smile, like, I'll think about it, thank you.
You better. He says that entirely jokingly.
He does snort.
Came all this way.
You mean, by all this way, you mean down the hallway?
Okay, shut up. Does that affectionate, like, head rustle again?
Oh. So, he does kind of, yeah, he does, make an indignant squeak at the head rustle. uh, he is not immune to, uh, he is not immune to that, unfortunately. So after that, he does kind of pause for a moment before he's like, "How is Sammy, by the way?"
I mean, he's still in the hospital room. He might have gotten a little strained during the heist, so he's probably going to be in physical therapy for a little bit longer because of his leg. But I think he'll be fine.
That's good. I don't know whether or not to feel apologetic. I'm not really sure what um all of that threw at you, or
He kind of just laughs, and it is like a genuine laugh. Like he's just uh, just calling water under the bridge, kid.
that is very fast moving water considering it was only a few days ago.
Unfortunately for you, I get attached really easily.
No. Really?
He sticks out his tongue at you.
And then he blinks and thinks for a moment, and it's just, so where was that cake from then?
The cake?
He nods.
I mean, we kind of made it.
The hospital?
Not in the. Sammy's got a house of paint.
I don't think Camille knows what that means.
if it's obvious that he doesn't know, he's just like, okay, there was this. Apparently, Sammy got this thing from Glorps in Toontown, and it's essentially uh this painting of a house that can be a house. Takes it with him wherever he goes.
You know, that sounds like Toontown, actually.
It's actually a really nice house. I think you'd like it in there.
And he does tilt his head curiously. No, you are not going to make a Phantom L joke. You are not going. uh, he was gonna say, just be careful with Phantom L.
Oh my
Cause, you know.
god! I put my head in. Oh, hang on.
Oh, okay. Hi, audience. How you doing? You having fun on this emotional ride? Alright, fine. I can mention ya boy for you because I love you.
Hi, my roommate just got me soda.
Oh, hell yeah, nice. I think I have been bullied into making Camille make that joke anyways, so.
Yeah, I was about to say you should.
Yeah. Camille kind of just grins like, oh, you should be careful of Phantom L.
Oh, oh, come on. And Arata laughs, and he says, if Phantom L stole my brother's house of paint, I would be the one bullying him.
So that's what we call chase sequences now? Bullying?
Yeah, let's go with that.
uh, they are stupid, Your Honor.
They sure are, and I love them so much. And I think Arata, sighs and says, I'm sorry, I just looked at the audience.
That was obviously establishing dominance, okay?
Ball to white face?
Yeah, that's establishing dominance.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
Don't you
Sure.
know how detectives work?
Sure.
Also, it was funny.
I think Arata just kind of laughs and says, you know, I know that I'm supposed to be Izumi's rival. I don't think I would mind being chased by you.
I think Shiro might mind, though.
Shiro, Not Shiro, sorry, he doesn't say Shiro. Azumi definitely would. But I would take any opportunity to bully him.
That is the impression I got, yes.
And Arata grins.
Camille does smile back. Uh, he's. I think he's currently trying to find a good time to bring up him being a horrible little detective about some things. Uh, but he doesn't want to be like too obvious about it immediately, so he's sitting on that for now.
I mean, Arata doesn't have much else to like
There.
talk about. Those are like the two biggest things.
Understandable.
But I do think that like at this point, at least Genie has done a very familiar thing and kind of like laid down, kind of pressed against Camille.
Oh,
Comfort kitty.
comfort kitty. And yeah, he's okay. If you wanted to do that, you should have done it when you were scratching his chin. But okay, you take that urge and put it in the bin for now. Uh,
What?
he kind of wants to investigate the thing on Jeannie's collar, but it's but
I put my chin hands.
yes,
We could.
we could.
I look
He's
at some lore we've been building in the background. We could.
all right. How would how would uh you what modifier would you rule him acting casual about his investigation?
Uh, deception or performance? Question mark.
All right, we'll go with deception. Oh wait,
You have.
I have dice. I almost typed it into parser. Okay, you disgusting little boy.
Delightful.
That is a 22 on Decep.
Oh well, Genie can't beat that. And Arata's not beating that now.
So I guess he gets away with it for now.
Yeah. So you're like probably petting him and looking at the collar again?
Yeah, he wants to take a closer look at that little, stone.
Alright. Why don't you roll me either investigation or history?
His history is a +4, so I know what we're gonna go with.
Huh?
Oh, damn, okay. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. That's a 29.
I sit here and chin hands at you.
I chin hands back at you.
So, this is it's a pretty small gemstone. But it does look like it was made with a lot of care. This tag. Um, it, oof, as I try to find my words.
I pat you so very gentle.
It is a blue gemstone, and as far as you can tell, it does appear to be real, like a real gemstone. Probably a sapphire of some kind, or something along those lines. Um, Uh, it is engraved with um with a insignia that I described to you. It's a very fancy looking V surrounded by a sort of reef.
Mhm.
Um, um, Below that, in a you don't recognize, is a word. Um, you don't know what it means though. You can't really read it. Um, the little like that's holding the gemstone is holy shit. My internet
Oh
just
shit.
cut out.
Oh no, are you okay?
Did you hear everything?
I heard uh let's see. I heard you get up to the word that he could not understand or really read. Uh
Yeah, you don't know what it says. Um, it's a single word. And the little like casing for the gemstone itself is golden. Uh God, you did get a fucking 29.
I mean, I can roll a history if you want to do a certain other thing.
Um,
Though that is
you
entirely
could.
up to you.
You could. It would help me flavor this a bit.
Alright. Oh. Well, not as disgusting, since he doesn't have a disgusting modifier, but that is still a 19.
Okay. I guess the dice have decided that we ought to do this.
I guess so.
Um, Camille. I smile ominously at you. Um, with a 19 in history and a 29 in investigation. Um, well, let me start with the investigation. You can tell probably just because by your by what class you are that this, while it was quote unquote made by hand, there does seem to be like some factor of this was made by someone who is magical, very magical. Um, though you can't exactly pinpoint what kind of magic it is. You don't think that the collar itself has like any magic traits. It's just, oh, this was probably made with care and magic.
Mhm.
Um, with a 19 in history, for some reason, that kind of magic being made with care into something is familiar to you. And the more you squint at this insignia, the more you feel like you have seen it before, but you can't remember where from or when.
Hmm. I see, thank you. So yeah, he's very much filing all of that away. Um, he does. There's the tiniest bit of a squint as he almost, as it feels familiar, though he can't quite place where, so he is mostly just filing that away to deal with later. Because why would this be familiar? Okay. And I think he'll probably leave it at that because there's not much more he can do there.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
And Eugene just kind of goes, meow, and Arata just kind of looks over, and he says, Genie's asking if everything's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm. I was just thinking, I think that is probably the first time a Phantom Thief has ever sent a calling card through a gift basket. And I'm going to roll deception to see how smoothly that transition goes, which is to say, not at all. A +9 can only take you so far.
Yeah, buddy, Arata just got a fucking 21.
Yeah. Yeah, he is absolutely changing the subject. Um, and when he was trying to tell you that, he was glancing over at not at the table where the shark plush and the book lie, but rather at Jeannie's collar, and there was a expression on his face almost like he was trying to make something click, but it wasn't quite yet. Uh, so yeah, hands you that.
Arata casually filing this information away for later.
They're both casually filing information away for later.
Bro, are you really gonna? No! He's handing me that he wants to, like, press more, but god, we've been here for 2 hours already.
You say this like our past FPS with them wasn't over 3.
This is
It's fine.
true.
We
This
still
is
have a little bit before someone gets back and starts to throttle us.
that is true. That is fair. But I think Arata just kind of gives you a look like that wasn't the smoothest transition ever, buddy.
He sighs. Like, well, you can't blame a kid for trying.
Guess not.
I guess we both still have to work on our lying a bit.
Got that right. They say this in the same room as Izumi.
The champ.
He T-poses on both of them. Um, but I think Arata does kind of like reach over to like gently take a hold of the collar tag so that you can, so it's not like jingling around and you can like take a look at it.
And he blinks at that.
I got that as a gift from someone.
I'm guessing it's a secret as to who, huh?
He kind of shrugs and he says, um, eh, Depends on who you talk to, but and he kind of looks to Jeannie, but Jeannie kind of gives him like a nod, like yeah, you can say that. Um, and he's just uh, I guess you could say Jeannie has a sort of sister too, that they'd been separated for some time, and well, after they reunited, she gave him this.
And he blinks at that and files that information for away for later. Like, huh, I see. And he's not really pressing, at least not this time, because that seems a bit personal and boundaries.
Yeah, and I think Arata's like, okay, that might be a good place to put that off for now.
Yeah. And yeah, gonna he's going to go like, but seriously though, a gift basket?
I can't just deliver a calling card in person, you know. Also, I don't know if it would have been great if I was there when you were still, you know.
Probably not. Shiro is apparently a little bit protective. I think the only one he let in was Moria.
Arata just kind of nods at that.
And he does grin a bit though. Like, I can't say I'm not at least a little curious though.
Uh huh. Kind of gives you a raised brow.
Sorry, he is a detective.
About
And
the gift basket or the card?
more about, well, I was a little bit curious before, but now I guess you can say it's a bit personal. And he is giving you a kind of mischievous grin. Like,
I think Arata does bark out a bit of laughter. And he says, alright, alright.
I don't have even close to all the pieces now, much less enough to form a hypothesis, but he's very much doing a little think.
And Arata kind of like, he's still sitting cross-legged, um, on the bed in front of you, and he kind of like props an elbow on one knee and puts his chin on in the palm of his hand and kind of watches you.
Uh, Quite literally chin handsing, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, Camille, it's definitely not the same kind of almost desperation he had earlier when he was asking you about his own case. Uh, this is more just sort of enrichment, you could say. Uh, Simply speaking, he's a detective and you have set down a mystery in front of him.
Oh, Arata thinks that's adorable.
uh, and he's taking a moment to sort of organize his thoughts. Like, well, right now the calling card is the thing I have the most, uh, you could say theories about, or at least the most, it's the closest to a hint, at least.
And Arata just kind of nods, like, go on.
And, okay, let's see. That is a fumble.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That is, alright, cool. It would be absolutely hilarious if he fumbled and pulled it out anyways, because I did slip that onto his chart. So let's see, that is a 9. Uh, uh, oh no, that's a sad one.
No. No. You
Alright,
start to pull it out, you realize what it is, and just put it back in.
yeah. And then we'll re-roll on that fumble chart. He pulls out a soccer ball with a 19. And he blinks at that like, that's not right. Okay. He does not fumble this time.
Good.
And with a bit of a embarrassed blush, he does pull out the calling card this time with a little bit of a flourish. And so he's just, I haven't really been able to dissect the text because Shiro gets, it, I, he doesn't like it if I read it too much. But as for what else I do have, I'm, this is a necessary part of the process, isn't it?
Arata grins at you and nods.
And he smiles back because he's just like, I knew it. Because if it wasn't, you either would have just not said anything and gone ahead and done it, or you would have told me ahead of time. Uh, I. And he does. He is still thinking about which one you're more likely to do, but that's put aside for now. He has only met you once, so he doesn't quite have a good grasp on what you would do in that sort of situation. Uh, and let me go back over my notes. uh, as he's just like, not to mention the fact that he's actually delivered it in a gift basket via Shiro of all people, only further proves that it's something that you had to do, because that he holds up the shark plush. It does kind of feel like you were trying to soften the blow just a little bit.
Arata just kind of makes a face like, okay, you can say that, and shrugs.
And yeah, he doesn't seem to be holding it against you because he's just, yeah, no, this is something that you had to do. He understands. Um, so as he's just like that, so that means either the card itself has some sort of key to it, or it's in the text. Mm, and he thinks for a bit. So it's maybe meant to lower a person's guard? I'm not sure. But he's.
Arata snorts.
And he looks up at you.
I'm not saying anything. He grins widely, and he's just, I mean, you're on the right track, but, I can't give everything away.
And frankly, after not being able to, after accidentally finding out your identity, I would not want you to.
I think that laughs in character. No insight roll needed. You can tell he's having fun with this.
Yeah, Camille's also having fun with this. But he does seem to be pretty happy that his guess, at least for part of it, was on the mark.
What? So, do you want a hint or something?
Uh, no, I only really wanted a confirmation. And he slips that back into his hammer space. I
That's
figure.
not bad. Oh, continue.
And he kind of just shrugs, like, I figure that there's probably a few more in this conversation, but I'll have to think over that later.
Arata just kind of nods. He does look very impressed, and he says, "That's not bad from just the calling card alone."
And uh, he does smile at you, like, well, it's less just the calling card and more how you acted with doing it. You can learn a lot about a person's. You can learn a lot by studying a person. Though I haven't really gotten to know you too well yet, despite everything.
I guess we're just filling in the gaps in between.
I guess so.
God, he's not giving me words. It's just like a general sense of fondness.
Oh, yeah. Camille, meanwhile, is he does kind of have a little grin on because it's nice to be able to put on the metaphorical detective hat, so to speak. Because boy, has he been missing solving mysteries. Because certain someone has been handling all of the would-be murders.
Looks at Azumi. Looks at inmate who's a very good doctor.
Yeah, yeah. So he has been missing enrichment a little bit, but yeah, you can tell that if anything, um your encouragement has definitely worked. He is very much. He's not going to doggedly pursue this, but he does find it very interesting, especially with uh, that weird sense of familiarity he had earlier.
I simply do a wiggle.
So after a bit, he probably is like, but seriously though, I know I'm teasing you a lot for it, but the gift basket was appreciated.
Good. I'm glad.
How did you know sharks? By the way, was it just a lucky guess?
No, you can't say that. You don't even know about the teeth thing.
One day he will.
One day he will. Um, I
For
think as a
context, dear viewers, Camille being. For certain lore reasons, Camille has infinite teeth. Don't worry about that.
lol,
Like a shark.
like a shark. um, and I think Arata just grins mischievously. Like, he is for certain not going to give you a straight answer for this. Because he's a little shit. And he says, I don't know. I did steal your heart. Maybe I found out through that.
There's a bit of a snort.
Arata is still grinning at you.
He is raising an eyebrow at you, like. So, what, you know all of my favorites now?
No. I do know you have a special place in your heart for sharks.
Yeah, there's a bit of a smile, like. Yeah. Do you want to give the shark spiel, buddy? Or no? I hold him and stare at him. You would get so teased if you said that.
That would be like the perfect way to end off, just teasing over there.
There. And he does kind of go to hold the shark plush with a fond smile, like. In a way, they are kind of like detectives.
Arata just kind of snorts.
What?
Well, let me guess. It's all because they're always on following the scent or something.
One. Oh god, I want me trying to recall that one. That one. Uh. It is so cringe. uh. And yeah, that's like, that's one of the reasons.
Oh, you were such a nerd.
Is that out loud?
Yes! He is absolutely teasing you for this.
uh, he's just like, oh, and you're not?
I never said that.
Then you don't get to judge.
And he throws his head back in a cackle.
Uh,
I don't know how else to say it, my dude, but I simply told Camille you've been adopted already.
I know. I'd say Big Brother speedrun, but there was an 11-hour game, so really, it's not a long run.
Big Brother long run.
Yep. Um, I don't know if I can bring myself to do it in character, but I do have the spiel on sharks and detectives pulled up.
Oh my
Uh, this is straight out of the mouth of his one of his canon counterparts, by the way. I have already been dared to say it, so uh, the the spiel is following the scent of blood to arrive upon a crime scene, using every one of your senses to hunt down the culprit. Then, once you've seized hold of him, sinking in your sharp teeth, your evidence, until your opponent gives up the ghost. That's how detectives are.
fucking dork.
I know! So, yeah, um, if Arata continues to tease him on that, he will give his reasoning like that. Which would only make things worse, but you know.
Absolutely. You cannot escape the affectionate teasing from this boy.
Hey! So maybe it's a little cheesy. Like you're not. You're a phantom thief.
Oh no, I'm extra as hell. You're cheesy.
Uh-huh.
I know where I'm at. This is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
I am. Thank you for noticing.
And that's probably a good place to leave it, huh?
Yeah. And in that case,
Just,
thank you everybody so much for listening in both now and in the future.
we leave out on you boys teasing each other and having a pretty good time. So, again, thank y'all for listening. Thank you, Avi, for playing with me. And thank
And
you especially to the two bullies in the audience. You know who you are.
close a kiss to our audience members.
Yeah.
And with that, we bid you a good time zone.
Bye.